Following a lot of kind of what you're doing, building a personal brand, and I know that you don't spend a lot of time on meetings, and it feels like you've become kind of a full-time content creator. So I'm wondering how much of your week is kind of split up. You're big on time leverage too, into creating content, writing your book versus the back-end stuff, operations, hiring. Like, what does your week look like?
So I'll just set the record straight that I'm definitely not a full-time content creator. But I have a very large content team, and so that can give the appearance of doing that full-time. That being said, I spend my mornings on maker stuff, and typically that's going to either be models and research around big decisions that have to do with the portfolio, but that doesn't really require a lot of other people. That's me basically looking at spreadsheets, looking at the data that's there, and then coming up with potential solutions that might move the company forward. On the content side, the maker stuff is what you would imagine. So that would be coming up with a concept, coming up with ideas, and kind of usually just outlining bullets of like things that I want to cover or talk about. That's more or less it from the maker side. That's pretty much what I'll do. Is either it's a decision or I'm making a thing. That's it. The second half of my day is what's dedicated to meetings. And I would say this is much more fluid than anything can appear. And so a lot of you guys are probably like, I have to model this exact thing. Like I have seasons just like everybody else does. And so at my most extreme like kind of creation season, like when I'm in book writing mode, like the next book's already written, it's already done, it's already like shipped and printed, like it's done. But when I was in that mode, then it was like Mondays were my all meetings all day, and then I usually had a Thursday afternoon, and the rest of my time was driven towards the book, edits, things like that. With, of course, some interruptions that occur naturally. In the season that I'm in right now, it's probably 50-50 in terms of how my time is. Mondays are still shot. I still pretty much reserve my mornings until I try to go as late as I can. The big key is in terms of if you have somebody else who manages your calendar. So we have 3 now, about to have 4 EAs just for Layla and I, to give you an idea. Is that we book things back to front. And so for me, if I am going to have, let's say Thursday, I'm going to have some meetings, the first meeting they're going to book is 4 to 5. And the next one's going to be 3:30 to 4. The next one's going to be 3 to 3:30. So that way I still have the largest uninterrupted block prior to that. That may sound simple. It took 10 years to figure that out. And so hopefully I'm sharing that with you. Because before this, I said don't block any meetings until 1. And so then they would just start meetings at 1. But then I would have a 1, a 2, and then I'd end at 3:30 or something. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get back into maker mode. So we end at 5. And then usually for me, I'll work out. And then we'll eat. And then we'll call it. And so I usually get here around between 5 to 7. It just kind of depends how late I wake up. I don't use an alarm. I just try and sleep as long as I possibly can. And I usually work pretty much like 6 to 6. And I think the big difference is Layla and I work 7 days a week. And so if I work 7/12s for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, I'll usually want to take a day off. And so I just kind of let that happen as I want to take off. But the most common for me is like Sunday second half, like I'll end at 2 or something. And that's usually when I take off. And if you're like, oh, he obviously doesn't have kids, duh. But yeah, that's how I organize my life because that's what I like doing.
Who works harder, you or Layla?
Different. We both work probably about the same amount of hours. She does more stuff than me.
Yeah.
Layla has 15 meetings a day. And hers is kind of reversed. So she'll have like 1, maybe 2 days where she'll prioritize making content, and the rest of it, or when I say making content, like she's prepping for quarterlies next week because we not only have quarterlies for our team, we have quarterlies for all the portfolio companies. So we have to look at each of those things, prepare what we're going to talk about with their leadership teams, et cetera. So like that's work. And so she does a lot of that stuff too.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. If you're a business owner and you are not growing as fast as you'd like, I'd like to give you a free gift. So my team and I put together the $100 million scaling roadmap, which is basically 200 hours of us looking over all the portfolio companies we've had and what stages of growth they went through, and more importantly, where they got stuck and how they got past it. And so we broke it into these 10 stages, and we made this little kind of quiz thing where if you put in your business information, it'll tell you where you're at, and the most important part for you, what to do for each of the functions of the business across product, marketing, sales, customer success, recruiting, IT, human resources, and finance. And so no matter what you're struggling with, someone else has already struggled with it and solved it. And so I'd like to give you this thing absolutely free. You can go to acquisition.com/roadmap, plug in your business information, and if you want us to actually help you deconstrain the business and you're trying to scale, we'd love to help you out. On the thank you page, you can just book a call with my team, and we will look at the business, see if we can help, and if we can, we'll invite you out to Vegas, and we'll do this in person live.